Hello everyone! We are Group 5 from Section 7. The topic we want to discuss today is about designer baby. First, I want to ask a question. Have you guys ever heard about designer babies? Yes or no? So, what is a designer baby? And why is it becoming an issue nowadays? A designer baby is a baby with selected genetics, where usually a particular gene is included or genes associated with a disease are removed. If you're having a child, would you want to pick and choose the desired gene? Is this even ethical? The phrase designer baby refers to one whose genetic makeup has been altered or chosen to provide the desired genome. There are currently 3 technologies that have been developed to enable this, all of which involves manipulating fertilized eggs before in vitro fertilization. The first one is called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. This is the simplest of the 3 methods and doesn't involve any gene editing. Instead, it involves choosing between viable eggs for the one that best satisfies what the parents want. For example, it can be used to screen for diseases or even to predetermine gender. The second one is Talent's transcription activator like effector nucleases. These are enzymes that can be designed to remove specific parts of the DNA strands. They then replace this section, thus allowing edits to be made. In theory, this technique can be used to target any section of DNA and has been used to design plants, fuels, and even paths to certain specifications. The third one is CRISPR, which stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats, and it's a process that was discovered in the DNA sequence of certain bacteria. Their DNA contains snippets of the DNA of viruses that are previously attacked them to allow them to recognize any threat in procedure. The method by which this new DNA becomes a part of their own has been replicated to allow the modification of other genes' history. The first designer baby, Adam Nash, was born in 2000 using in vitro fertilization and PGD technique. Stem cells were collected from his umbilical cord and used to replace his older sister Molly's bone marrow as she suffered from Fanconi anemia, which causes bone marrow deficiency. Next, we shall discuss the relationship between man and religion from a science and technology point of view. The point of view from science is that designer babies can help to increase life expectancy, and it may help in preventing genetic disease. Besides, designer babies can also eliminate the occurrence of known diseases in future generations. However, from the religious point of view, they claim that the existence of designer babies is playing God. This is because the life and death of a man only can depend on God, and we cannot play the role of God. The existence of designer babies may develop some concerns about the violation of human dignity, safety, and efficiency. Now, we will proceed to the relationship between designer babies and 3 religions, which are Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. First, Christians argue that this technique is altering an individual's genes goes further than conventional medicine, and it is playing God, while in Islam perspectives, Muslims think that Allah has given human beings the knowledge and skills to develop treatments for diseases and conditions that cause suffering. From the aspect of Buddhism, Buddhist states that all of our actions have consequences while trying to cure illness, and relieve suffering will lead to positive consequences. A value system refers to the order as well as priority an individual or society grants to ethical and ideological values. There have been many ethical issues surrounding the topic of designer babies ever since its emergence. The first ethical concern is whether it is consensual, as embryos do not have consciousness and cannot give consent to their parents for editing their genes. The second ethical concern is about fairness. Designer babies are naturally born with better skills in different aspects and will have more advantages than non-designer babies. This raises issues about fairness in the current society. Thirdly, we do not know if it is really safe to edit the genes of embryos. Any medical procedure has its risks, and off-target edits could cause results that are cruel and unwanted by the child. Lastly, is it really worth it? Designer babies have many pros and cons, so we need to revise them thoroughly before making a conclusion on its ethicality. How do these ethical concerns about designer babies affect our values? It is undeniable that ethical concerns shall emerge while people debate the rights of designer babies. Many religious groups are likely to find the idea of redesigning the fundamental biology of humans morally troubling. Other than that, conflicts shall arise due to the existence of different value systems and prioritization of different values regarding designer babies. Most people favor babies with optimum traits, so in the end, everyone will be relatively similar in terms of genetics, looks, and personality. Thus, individuality will be lost in society. Firstly, designer baby technology can help to prevent genetic diseases, have a better chance to succeed in life-increased lifespan, and lower the chance of carrying defective genes inherited from parents. However, it also brings some negative consequences, including many embryos which are meant to be human beings are terminated. Next, the human gene pool will be altered. Besides, everyone sharing common ideal genetics will cause loss of individuality. Furthermore, some genes may have multiple functions, thus deletion of these genes will cause unpredictable consequences and may lead to new diseases. Moreover, we can't determine which trait is good or bad. Eliminating people from society causes destruction of humanity. Lastly, only the rich could afford to pay this technology. Come to our conclusion. To sum up, a designer baby is a baby with selected genetics to express desired traits. It involves PGD and CRISPR technology. Today, scientists are making rapid advances in our knowledge of the human genome and how to modify and alter genes. However, there have been conflicts between the views of science and religion on this subject. Christians, Islam, and Buddhists think it is unethical as it is playing God, and there are many ethical concerns regarding designer babies, and it may affect our values. Besides, designer babies can bring both advantages and disadvantages to our society. Hence, we have to weigh out the pros and cons before developing such technology for the benefit of all, and we need to be cautious and consider the consequences of our actions before it changes our society forever. An American physician, Leon Cass, said that as bad as it might be to destroy a creature made in God's image, it might be very much worse to be creating them after images of one's own. So what is your opinion about the existence of designer babies? Anyway, the idea and technology is of creating designer babies are still developing. It is hard to conclude who is right and who is wrong. That's all from our group. Thank you for watching.